Alright, so for today's video, I'm going to be discussing Ragnarok, which is in the Norse mythologies, it is the end of the world. It's the apocalypse, and it's pretty crazy. I'm try to do it off the top, instead of trying to read from my computer this time. Alright, so Ragnarok begins when Balder, there's a god named Balder who, the story with him, he is the god of light. He is Odin's favorite son, and he is loved by everyone. Everyone loves Balder except for one person, or one god, and that god is Loki. Loki can't stand Balder because everyone loves him, and Loki's just a hater. You know, if the attention ain't on him, then he's got issues. Alright. So, what happens is Balder is invincible, almost invincible to everything. His mother made all the gods, all the creatures, and all of the 9 realms pledge loyalty and affection to Balder. Everybody pledged everything in the universe, agreed, said, hey, we don't want to hurt Balder, no one will ever hurt Balder, everything, except for one thing. Loki did not agree to this. And Loki, being Loki, the trickster god, is very smart. He did his research, and he found out that there was one thing that Balder was not immune to, and that was mistletoe, of all things. Wood from the mistletoe. So one day the gods are having a game with Balder. They are hitting him with rocks, arrows, spears, everything, because nothing can affect Balder. His epidermis, which is your skin, is like invincible. Nothing can crack it. So they're having a game with this. And Loki disguises himself as a blind man, as a feeble old blind man. And he approaches these gods and Balder, the games that they're playing. And he says to the group, hey, I have a special arrow that I made, and I want to see if perhaps it can hurt Balder. I see all y'all doing all this other stuff. There's no way this arrow is going to hurt him. And they see this like feeble old blind man. They're like, yeah, sure, go ahead and take your shot. Everybody else is doing this. So Loki, being disguised as the old man, takes the arrow, shoots it, and then the arrow, boom, hits Balder, kills him instantly. And then that's when Loki dips out, and all the gods are shook. They're like, what the hell happened? How did Balder die? Where did this old man go? Who was he? Yada, yada, yada. Some time passes, and they figure out that it was Loki that did this. And they figure out that Balder has died and is now in Helheim, which is the land of the dead. It's where you go if you don't die in battle. Like, if you don't get to die in battle, you usually end up in Helheim, which is like, it's not hell like the Christian hell, sort of. It's like purgatory. I guess there's different levels to it, but Balder got sent to Helheim, and Hela, who is also a daughter of Loki, rules hell. So what happens is they send Hermod, who's another god, on Sleipnir, which is an 8-legged horse, which is also a son of Loki. Fastest horse in the 9 realms. Hermod hops on that horse, has a direct mission from Odin, rides all the way to Helheim, finds Balder guarding the gates to Helheim, managing the spirits that come and go. Hermod has an audience with Hela and says, hey, we need Balder back. The world, everyone's upset. We need Balder back because nothing is right. So what they do is Hela says, hey, if you can get everyone in the 9 realms to mourn for Balder, if you can get everyone and everything to mourn for Balder, she would release him from Helheim. Well, everyone and everything did mourn for Balder, except for, you guessed it, Loki. He said, nah, I don't regret what I did. He said, I hated Balder. I wanted to get my lick back at Odin for how he's done me. So the gods go and they start hunting Loki down. And at this time, something called Fimbulwinter starts, and that's the endless winter. Like, it just snows and it will never stop. And at the same time, the two wolves, Skull and Haughty, one chases the sun and one chases the moon, and have been since the beginning of time. They catch up to the sun and the moon, and they consume both the sun and the moon, creating eternal darkness. So the earth, it's just dark and cold, and it's just getting colder and colder and darker still. But anyways, at this point, they find Loki hidden as a fish in a river, and they build a net, and they throw it into the river, and they capture Loki. And they tie him up in a cave with a snake, with snake's venom dripping, continuously just hitting his head over and over again, and it will drain from his head into his eyes, causing like severe pain. And he's there till later on when he breaks free. So he's there for a while, but then he breaks out of the cave, and he leads an attack against another god called Heimdall, who is the Watcher god who guards the Bifrost, which is the rainbow bridge that connects the 9 worlds to Asgard, which is the realm of the gods. So that day comes, Loki rides out, him and Heimdall fight, and they kill each other. Thor and Jormungandr, which is, Thor is the god of mankind, the god of strength, of lightning, goes out and fights Jormungandr, which is the giant sea serpent, another son of Loki. They fight each other to the death. Both of them die. Fenrir, who was a giant wolf bound by chains, another Loki son, breaks free. He breaks free, and Odin rides out to meet Fenrir in battle, and Fenrir eats Odin. But it's at that point that the god of vengeance, Vadar, which is an Odin son, kills Fenrir and avenges him. All this war is going down in battle. Pretty much all the major gods die, except for a handful of gods, like Vadar makes it. Balder, at the end, he comes back from Helheim, back to Earth, I believe. But yeah, towards the very end, there's a fire giant named Surtur who appears with a giant flaming sword, and he scorches the 9 realms. Everything gets burnt to the ground, except for a few minor gods and some humans that took shelter under the roots of Yggdrasil, which is the world tree. And it's at that point, the survivors come back out, and I guess that's where we are today. If mythology, if it's real, that's, I guess, how we got here today. I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot more to it. I don't have enough time. I would have to do, it would take forever to explain that whole thing. But maybe I'll do some more videos in the future on that as well. If you guys got any comments or suggestions, you want me to discuss anything, just let me know. But yeah, that's Ragnarok in a nutshell, and I appreciate y'all listening to my story, and please come back for another time and check out my other videos. I appreciate y'all. Peace.